this very moment, the most hated person in America. 8 counts of treason.
The White House confirming this evening, American forces have struck Berlin.
This is Berlin calling.
With the right words, a war can be won before the first rifle is loaded. That is propaganda.
What chance do you have?
Prosecution, he's going for the death penalty. I'm your lawyer. Nobody wanted the case.
Mildred Gillers utilized a German propaganda machine to weaken the American war effort and to destroy the morale of our troops.
That is the definition of treason.
Mildred Gillers is on trial for reading from a script she did not write, she did not believe in.
This was psychological warfare in which she was a soldier.
America is watching. We must not sacrifice this woman. Patriotism covering up a lynch mob!
All right, I'm here. Have no fear.
Sven is here. Jeff in Las Vegas. Swen, Meadow, hello, good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for talking to me about American Traitor, the trial of Axis Sally. You know, I am a huge history buff, especially World War II and US history. I've heard of Tokyo Rose. I've never heard of Axis Sally. And I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know this story, but it sounds like a fascinating piece of hidden history.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we didn't really know who she was either before we dove into this movie and figured out, you know, what she contributed.
I had heard her name in like an answer on a test, but you didn't really know much about the story.
And, you know, Sven, Billy Owen, was he really drawn into the trial literally the day before, like it was portrayed in the movie, or just? That,
I mean, the movie is really as historically accurate as possible. I mean, Billy Owen wrote the book that then his son Vance Owen turned into the screenplay, which we used for the film. So yeah, he just, I think from what I remember, 2 weeks prior, he passed the bar to become, you know, a lawyer. And he was like, you know what, I have nothing to lose. I know this trial is going on down at the courthouse. I'm gonna run down there and see if I can get a job. If I can be, you know, a letter carrier for Laughlin, I'll do anything. I mean, I'll pick up his trash from his office, but I want to learn from the best. So yeah, as like in the movie, I run down to the courthouse and ask him for a job, and his assistant just got, you know, locked up. So the door opened and I took the opportunity, and yeah, the next hour I was in the courtroom in the most notorious trial of the time.
As they say, the rest is history. And Meadow, you know, Mildred was doing Nazi propaganda over the radio. And did any of her recordings still survive? Did you?
Yes,
so you got to listen to them.
I did. That you can find them. They're a little obscure and they're a little hard to find, but you can find them, and there's quite a few surviving. So you can hear her voice. She had a beautiful speaking voice, and you can listen to her and get a feel for who she is and who she was, and make up your own mind about what you think history did to her story.
And Sven, working with Al Pacino, you know, I'm intimidated just watching him, let alone working with him. So, and no one screams like he does. I just love how out of nowhere, you know, he'll just shout a line. Did that catch you off guard when you learned his style?
You know, we had the pleasure of being able to meet him 2 weeks before starting to shoot and really, you know, get to know each other, rehearse. And at that point, I'd gotten comfortable, but I don't think you can ever fully prepare to get yelled at by Al Pacino. But if there is one person in this world that I'd want to get yelled at, it would be Mr. Pacino. And it's something that you definitely have to get used to, especially in that the scene between him and I where we make the deal. Most of that wasn't really even written in the script, and you kind of just have to bounce back and forth and kind of take what he throws at you and throw it back at him. And in the end, he got a little heated and he yelled back. But I think that makes me feel like I did my job right.
Oh, it wouldn't be an Al Pacino movie without him yelling, right?
That's great.
Poor extras probably caught him off guard too, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And Meadow, was that actual newsreel footage of Mildred that was inserted in the film? You look just like her after the makeup, identical.
There is a little blending that they did. They took my face with her face, and there's a slight blending that's a little bit of movie magic. They had me walk the same walk she walked, and they just made our features blend just a little bit. And that one
was cool.
Is a little bit of movie magic, but it is the actual footage, and that is what she did. But they did put like this part of my face over her face. So that's why if it looks a little bit so much like me, that's why.
You know, and as actors doing a period piece like this, the costumes, the settings, do your characters really come out once you put on, you know, the style of clothes they wore and everything? I mean, it must be easy for an actor to really put yourself into these characters when you're playing in another decade, especially World War II.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if it's easy, but it definitely makes it easier because, I mean, I don't wear my suits up to here anymore and the ties this short with the suspenders and the shoes, but it definitely throws you into the era very quickly. And then with the set as well, it was, and her dresses, my goodness.
Yes, wardrobe went above and beyond. They had clothing shipped from all over the world, real 1940s, 1930s pieces, and they had them all sprayed out. And we were going by descriptions of her in newspapers and things, of what kind of hats they said she had on. And I was trying on all these different crazy hats, every one of them more out there than the one before. They were beautiful, but I wish people could still wear those. They're so nice. And the clothing was just very, very beautiful. Really tailored pieces. It
just helped so much. I mean, it just looks so authentic. So there was a lot of detail in this movie. Yeah, it was very incredible, the detail in this movie, because it helped a lot.
The handkerchief was monogrammed, and it was her. They mention it in the court dealings. There's some descriptions that people that were doing press reports and things back then. The news photographers and things got pictures, and there were some that wrote about her handkerchief and the clothes she was wearing and the way she crossed her legs and everything. It was such a big trial that there was a lot to pull from that you could.
I mean, we had a stack about this thick of newspaper clippings and pictures and all that stuff. So there was a lot of information out there.
And
a lot of things people wrote.
And even the interaction with Goebbels, I mean, was that all well documented? Because some of that stuff was, the portrayal of Goebbels in this movie, it was just chilling because everyone knows what a monster he was. And you guys didn't let up or didn't sugarcoat that at all. And I just thought that made this movie even more chilling.
Well, these are things she directly said to Sven's character, who is the man who wrote the book, which is Billy Owen. Billy Owen had these things said to him, and he wrote it down. And his son was there with us, talking to us all along about what his father had told him. And so we had a very good.
Well, there was even more interactions between Mildred and Billy that didn't make it into the movie, but they did build a relationship, and Meadow's character did confine in Billy certain things, and that I told then to Laughlin to build the case in order to, help her.
Yeah, I just love, without giving any spoilers away from the movie, I love how Pacino's character defends her. And, she was duped. She was the Third Reich. She had a gun against her head. I mean, I totally believe all of that. So I just found that fascinating. I think Pacino's closing statement, I mean, that scene is just incredible. What a monologue.
If you could have watched it, the extras were like awestruck.
We'll pay for this. We'll pay to see this.
Yeah, the extras were all, because they were kind of uncomfortable, the hats, the clothes, they're, switching around. But once that started, he's like, wow, this is so great. And he did it 4 times, 15 minutes each time, no cuts. And he did that whole closing argument as if he were a lawyer in that real space. None of the movie stuff. It was the real, like in a play, 15 minutes of straight Al Pacino, and it was glorious.
Wow, what a legend. What a legend. And finally today, Meadow, as also a producer on this film and the lead role, is this something, I would assume for an actress, this is like a role of a lifetime, searching for something like this. Tell me about just how lucky you were and how fortunate to find this story and nurture it. And it must be for an actress, it doesn't get better than this, does it?
It doesn't. And it happened all so almost accidentally. We were searching for a part for me to actually do with De Niro. And De Niro had put forth some scripts that I didn't feel like my part was what I wanted to play. And we were kind of searching. And somebody just said, hey, what about that project we bought 2 years ago? What about, this was a guy that was on the conference call, but nobody had heard him speak. And he said, there was this project. And he was actually one of the producers on Den of Thieves, Tucker Tooley. And he had seen me do silly stuff on set that was kind of Marilyn Monroe. I do little imitations of Marilyn. And he was like, she would be good at this. And then De Niro didn't really want to play a lawyer, but he said, you know, my friend Al would love this. And we're going, wait, Al Pacino? And we're just like, wow, sure. Yes, give the script to Al Pacino. Yes, you can do that. And Al did love it and immediately was on board. He'd had no questions, no hesitation, none of, immediately he was on the project, and that was that.
What a fascinating story. I mean, I just loved it. It was just fantastic historical drama and excellent performances all around. So thank you both for talking to me today, and I appreciate it. And good luck with the film.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.